Today we welcome to the Café, all the way from Pasadena, California, Soji Kashiwagi, the founder and executive director of the Grateful Crane Ensemble.
The mission of the Grateful Crane Ensemble is to pay tribute to the unique hardships and inspiring contributions of the Japanese Americans in our country's history and continues the traditions of our Japanese ancestry through educational and entertaining works of music and theater to the Nikkei and broader communities. And now let's welcome San Francisco native Soji Kashiwagi. Soji, welcome to the Nichi Café.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Congratulations on hitting the 20-year anniversary of the Grateful Crane Ensemble. As you look back on the first 20 years, what prompted you to begin the organization, and what does Grateful Crane mean?
The Grateful Crane is a Japanese children's story called Tsuru no Ongaishi. And the idea is to show gratitude and to give back for those who have come before you. And so 20 years ago, we started this group, as you mentioned, called Grateful Crane. And it was a simple idea. At first, we would just sing some songs for seniors at the Cato Retirement Home in Los Angeles. And at first, we were telling Japanese children's stories, but then it eventually grew to Japanese American stories. And then we started taking the show on the road, all across Los Angeles, up and down the state, across the country, and as far away as Tohoku, Japan.
What stands out as some of the most memorable moments of the past 20 years?
I would say the most memorable moments have been seeing the people's reaction to what we've been doing. I mean, we've been telling Japanese American stories. We did so with a show called The Camp Dance, The Music and the Memories, which was about the high school dances the Nikkei used to have behind barbed wire in camp. We also did a story called Nihonmachi, The Place to Be, which was about Japantown. And it actually began with the 100th anniversary of San Francisco's Japantown. And so it's kind of been covering our Japanese American history, and in the process seeing the people's reactions, laughing, crying, remembering. I think that's been the most memorable thing. And there's also been a certain amount of healing that's taken place. You know, a lot of our history is very painful. But music has a way of bringing out a lot of emotions. I mean, it's been pretty amazing. In Nihonmachi, we give out little packets of Kleenex to audience members as a souvenir, thinking that they might need it because in prior shows we had people, wiping, going like this. And we just thought, okay, let's provide some Kleenex. And sure enough, those who had the Kleenex used it. And those that didn't rushed out during intermission and said, "Where's that Kleenex? I need the Kleenex." So that kind of reaction has been very emotional and really rewarding for us to see.
Your more recent production, Garage Door Opener, is about siblings who clean out their parents' garage and in the process dig through some memories. It seems to resonate with Japanese American audiences across the state. How did this production come about?
So our initial shows, especially Camp Dance, were really for the Nisei generation. And so over the years, we decided that we needed to do something for the Sansei. So I wrote this story about a brother and sister that have to go through their parents' house after they pass away and all the stuff they saved. And this really resonated with people. They could relate to it because they've actually had to do it themselves. And so they were there to go through the tofu containers and the kamaboko boards and everything else their parents saved. Because if you threw it away, that would be mottainai, and that's not a good thing in our community.
After the Great East Japan earthquake and tsunami on March 11, 2011, the Grateful Crane Ensemble went to Tohoku to try to lift the spirits of those impacted by the disasters. In what ways did that trip impact both the Grateful Crane Ensemble as well as the audience?
You know, we've been on 3 trips now, Tohoku, in 2014, 2016, and 2018, and it's been life-changing each and every single trip. Mainly it's because of the inspiration of the people, their perseverance, their strength in getting through so much, and they just have this enormous spirit, a spirit that's kept us coming back. And they really, really appreciate the fact that we've come all the way from America just to be with them, and then that we haven't forgot them. And of course, they really appreciate that we're singing some of their most favorite Japanese songs, that has brought them a lot of joy and strength over the years. So all in all, it's just been a very incredible, life-changing experience for all of us.
In recent years, you've developed a youth group called the Grateful Four. What led to its development and why?
Well, when we decided to do something for the Sansei, we also had in mind that we should do something for the Yonsei as well. So around 2010, we started bringing in some younger folks to sing with us. At first, they would join us on stage at our fundraising dinners, and they kind of evolved from there and we started a Yonsei a cappella group based on a group that our board chair, Michael Murata, started at UC Berkeley. And so it kind of took off from there, and they formed this a cappella group, and that group eventually joined us in Tohoku, Japan, and they just had an incredible experience there as well. So it's been just great having them on board with us.
On Saturday, April 23rd and Sunday, April 24th, the Grateful Crane Ensemble will have a free performance at the Benvenuti Performing Arts Center in Sacramento titled Misora Hibari, a tribute to a legend. For members of our audience who may be unfamiliar with her, who was Misora Hibari and why was she so popular?
Misora Hibari was just this incredible artist, singer, actor, and overall a superstar performer in Japan. She started when she was a child, and her career lasted about 40 years. She's credited with lifting the spirits and giving people hope and strength, especially during the war and after the war in Japan. But what we point out in our show is that she had the same effect on Japanese Americans after the war. When they didn't have anything, Misora Hibari gave them joy and laughter, hope, and strength. That's one of the things that we point out, along with singing all of her greatest hits in our show, which bring back all the memories of our grandparents and parents listening to her songs on the record player, watching Japanese programs on TV, or going to the Kokusai Theater and seeing her movies. It just brings back so many memories and so much joy for people. In our Nihonmachi show, at the top of Act 2, we do a little reenactment of a concert in tribute to Misora Hibari. It was a way of just introducing how the community recovered after the war. I took that idea and said, well, why don't we actually do this show for real? A tribute to Misora Hibari and how she really provided a lot of strength to folks in our community. So that's how the show came about, and that's what we're going to be doing in Sacramento next month.
And finally, how can people secure tickets to this event?
It's a free show, so just get your tickets through Eventbrite. Go to the link on Eventbrite, and you can reserve your tickets there.
Well, thanks so much for dropping by the Nichi Bay Café and sharing a cup of tea with us. Good luck on your upcoming performances.
Thank you very much. Great to be here. Cheers.